G'day, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our 7-day Australia-only forecast recorded on Friday the 30th of August. So we're going into the month of September. The weather this week and going into next week dominated by this gigantic storm south of Tasmania and very close to Antarctica itself. In fact, it spreads into the Antarctic area. This big storm, and you can see it's got a number of low pressure zones around it, the air pressure is so deep at the moment that the windy weather extends out to Perth, extends up into New South Wales, and extends all the way over across New Zealand. We are seeing severe weather, all warnings around as a result of that big storm south of us. Further to the north, there is not much to talk about. There's still a very light easterly breeze drifting around northern parts of Australia. It's fairly dry, as it usually is at this time of the year. So Saturday looks like this. We've got this red line, which is north of it, the more tropical, hot airflow. So no surprises that we're seeing places like Alice Springs really feeling a lot more heat this week, and many of you in the north feeling more warmth. Further to the south, it is colder still around Tasmania. In fact, still just might be a little bit of snow around on the tops of the highest peaks. But look at the winds. They are the main feature, the wind and the rain. Rain's pretty heavy over on the western side and some northern areas. Not too major, but the winds are definitely the main feature. Severe gales. Keep up to date with the Bureau warnings. There'll be plenty of them. In fact, could be warnings brushing many coastal areas, Victoria in that as well, so parts of South Australia. Showers and sort of low rainfall totals, the pale blue you see across parts of the very southwestern corner of Western Australia, southern parts of South Australia, and going into Victoria, we're talking about a few millimetres up to maybe 5, maybe 10 if you're lucky. Not very much in the way of rain for you on Saturday. On Sunday, not a great deal of change to the map. Pretty much looks the same. Still a couple of isolated showers in the very northern part of Queensland. We're still seeing a few showers around Perth, southwards. Still not very much in there though, just a few millimetres. And around South Australia going into Victoria, again, a few millimetres coming through. It's either just a few spits or maybe a couple of heavier showers. But otherwise, again, it's Tasmania taking all the limelight. Heavy rain, strong winds, severe gales, could be damaging gales again for you as we go through Sunday. And by the way, Tassie, your friends over in the South Island are in the same category as you, getting all these rain and wind warnings as a result of the storm directly south of us. Monday, there's a surge of colder, more wintry air coming in to the southeastern corner. There'll be a dusting of snow back again around the mountains and the ranges. There could be snow around the high tops and the tablelands of around Tasmania, and plenty more rain falling. 20 millimetres, 30 millimetres or so for parts of Tassie. That's great news for the farmers there. Not as much around parts of Hobart. It's certainly more northern, western parts of Tassie. And a little bit more rain comes into Victoria. It's not huge totals, but it's a bit better than what we've been seeing. And of course, that'll be falling as snow higher up in the mountains. Only a couple more isolated showers for the far north of Queensland and a couple of isolated showers in that southern coastal part of Western Australia. The rest of Western Australia dry. That easterly flow though, that's going to help push up temperatures, and we've got a small area of low pressure trying to form here on Monday out to the west. By Tuesday, still hasn't formed, but the winds are coming in as a northerly inland and a bit more of a westerly or even a southerly in the coastal areas of Western Australia. Northern Territory, not a lot going on for you. Temperatures drop a little bit. Maybe on Tuesday next week, won't be much though, it's still going to be fairly warm. And a coastal breeze will keep temperatures maybe down a little bit after a hot couple of days. Some of you on the eastern side just might notice that. Otherwise, high pressure is in charge of New South Wales, the ACT, that's pushing away showers, and a larger part of Tasmania will see drier weather coming in. Not the western side so much, and maybe not the northwestern side, but out to the east, not quite looking so wet. And not quite looking so windy either. Even on Wednesday of next week, the severe gales are mostly south of Australia, but windy weather here coming across South Australia into Victoria. So really anywhere from west of Adelaide to just east of Melbourne, you're into that zone where windy weather could be a problem in some exposed areas. It doesn't look too serious at this stage. And mild nor'westers coming down to Tasmania. Not much going on for New South Wales. You know, there's Sydney, we're barely talking about you, but there's not a lot happening. High pressure over the top of you at the moment. And as I always say, if I'm not talking about you, there's not a lot of change going on with your weather. The main feature on Wednesday is probably the colder change coming into Western Australia in the southwest corner. Places like Perth, Fremantle getting some heavier rain, and it comes over to the other side as well. Albany, Esperance getting some showers, and you'll feel that colder southwesterly coming from off the Southern Ocean, well south of our map and coming in. Thursday of next week, all right, Tasmania, you missed being back in the headlines again. Here you are again on Thursday. Another surge of severe gale westerly winds, colder weather again, snow back possibly on the tops of the mountains, tops of the plateaus, and windy and wet across parts of Victoria and South Australia. Not quite getting into the ACT, or at least not by much, and most of New South Wales and much of Queensland dry, although coastal showers carry on in the north here, maybe a little bit heavier for some central coastal areas. Friday of next week, 1 week from now, don't 100% lock this in, it could still move around a wee bit, but we're seeing winds and rain easing around Tasmania, the winds easing around Bass Strait, some showers through the hills and ranges up towards the ACT, fading out sort of around Sydney area. Inland, that is. It won't be falling in Sydney itself by the looks of it. And then we've got this line of heavy downpours from that area of low pressure. It's been trying to form all week. Might get a bit better organised by the end of the week. And that could see a line of maybe thunderstorms or showers tracking along South Australia. Not ready to sort of totally lock that in, could still move around a bit, but that just gives you an idea. So let's take a look now at the next 7 days rainfall, try and make a picture of what is going on. And you can see it's all about Tasmania this week. They've got some big rainfall totals. We're talking up to 200 millimetres of rain coming in just 7 days for some parts of the western side of Tassie. Further to the east, maybe 80 to 100 millimetres, and down towards Hobart, not as much, 15 to 20, but you will be getting spillover that'll be coming into the rivers and streams from those higher up. Elsewhere, not much to talk about. Victoria, you're sort of in that 5 to 30 millimetre mark. I think most of you will be around 5 to 15 millimetres, and even lower totals around parts of South Australia and Western Australia and New South Wales, and a big chunk of Queensland and Northern Territories and Northern Territory, I keep doing that. Northern Territory and going into northern parts of Western Australia, all looking dry pretty much at the moment. Over the next couple of weeks or couple of months, few weeks, couple of months, we should start to see the rain up here at the very top starting to come further down to northern parts of Australia as the wet season approaches. So we'll keep an eye on that, but for now, there really isn't a lot to talk about for most of you. All the attention really is in that southeastern corner over the next week. That's all from me. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again a couple of days from now on Monday.